who is like the games industry in Malaysia is definitely growing, and it's kind of like it's a great place to like not I don't know about starting out, but like stuff is happening here. There are so many places that have like Malaysian offices nowadays. Like Double 11 recently started out here, and then also like we do have local companies like Streamline and Passion Republic that are working on international games. I think that's super neat. And like the talent here, the talent pool is growing and the talent pool is evolving and changing. And I say this because I'm part of the talent pool. I'm finishing my FYP. I need a job soon. And just like I really admire this entire batch with everybody who's come together. One thing that I'm really excited about because like okay, so just to like give the lore of this whole event. I actually had pitched to as an FYP student, I actually had pitched to like do a more fancy event, I guess, for the FYP showcase. Like, there are some other universities that the students, their final showcase, it's really flashy. And even though like my batch would technically have Jingle Mingle, which is our big showcase at the end of the year, that that one's like pull out the stops, guns blazing. It's kind of like that. Even though there's that, this is technically like my last public playtest as a student. When I go for Jingle Mingle at the end of the year, I'm not going to be here anymore. So that was like one of the driving forces behind like having an event like this. Oh, Mr. Ike, you're
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
hi. Is your
Okay.
camera working?
Yeah. Okay. What happened?
I don't know. The connection just like farted completely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're back on, right? Okay.
Yeah, you
So
were
where
talking
was I?
about how like the UK wanted to cultivate talent here, and then also you were chosen for a thing because you were the only person who played games.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
only
yeah.
person who played games in the office. Okay. You
Yeah,
weren't just playing games. Yeah.
You're the one gamer in all of Malaysia. If anybody from Malaysia like wins at Fortnite, it's actually you.
So they sent me to the University of Teesside.
Mhm.
And that's one of the top 4 universities in the UK. So they
Oh.
ran Animax there, and quite a number of game developers came out from Teesside. So that was my experience, and they sent me back there, sent me back to Malaysia, and I started the games course in Malaysia. Yeah, but we weren't one of the first. The first games course that started in Malaysia was MMU in 1999. So we started about 2-3 years thereafter.
I mean, like, because I remember the games course was already around when I was in high school. So, like, my first exposure to the games course was when I came to the old DJ campus
Right. Yeah.
during a
Yeah.
field trip when I was like 15 or 16. And I remember I sat in the room and I saw some of the projects. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to do this. So it's really cool that like it's come so far.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing is like I heard that you're a part of the Game Dev Council. Can you
Right.
tell us more about that?
Yeah, so the Game Development Council of Malaysia, yeah, that's a mouthful, or we call it GDCOM. It's a unit under the Ministry of Higher Education. Yeah, and our main purpose is actually to build up talents. And right now, if you were to reverse about 8 years ago, in 2012, we actually started this thing, UOW or KDU during those days. We started initiative under the government that time. Yeah, under that previous government, and that was called My Game Dev. And the whole purpose of My Game Dev was actually to kickstart the talent ecosystem in Malaysia. And the reason why this was very important was this. If you don't mind, I'm going to share a little bit of history with you all.
Ooh.
Yeah, so at the previous university, we all of us, the people that came together, we were very passionate about games, yeah, and we wanted to build up the games industry. But we were very insular. We were very very inclusive. Yeah, we just wanted to build the students in our university to build to be the best. Yeah, and I think moving on, we left that place and we came to KDU, and the main reason why we did that was we wanted to control the quality. We wanted to build students of the highest quality. And coming to KDU, during those days, KDU actually allowed us the flexibility to run the course as we saw fit. Yeah, and one of the reasons why this was important is universities are actually very institutions which are very rigid. Yeah. So to teach, and I'm saying I'm an academic, and I'm going to say this very, very, very bluntly. To teach, for example, a bachelor's program, you need to have a master's. Yeah. Some universities even go so far as to say to teach a bachelor's or to teach in a university, you need a PhD. But I come from a different school of thought. If you're going to teach games development, for example, you can't expect, especially if you see most of the game developers here, Michael, for example, Michael Uy, Johannes Ruben, you've got Hilmi, you've got all these people with tons and tons of experience, but they don't have an academic qualification. But what counts actually is the experience. Yeah, I always give this analogy. If you want to learn kung fu, yeah, you want to learn under a grandmaster with 30, 40 years of experience. Someone can look at you, point a finger, and you're dead. Not a fresh grad white belt, right? Yeah, so the same applies in games development as well. So the beautiful part was KDU allowed us to do that. We could bring in people with tons of experience, but no qualification or very limited qualification. So we came here, and as we came to KDU, we had a mind shift, sort of a paradigm shift, because the owner and how KDU started in those days was this. Now, KDU is owned by a property developer many years ago, yeah, and they are one of the big property developers. And the only reason why they started the KDU in those days was because they wanted an opportunity for the minorities to get an overseas education. So it was not about making money; it was more to allow people to grow. Yeah, and the boss at that time had this notion about nation building. And I guess when we came to KDU, this notion actually also began to cultivate in all of us. It wasn't so much about building KDU as the best, but how to build Malaysia as the best talent pool in the region, yeah, in Asia Pacific, yeah, and in the world, yeah. So we started to look beyond that. And when we joined in 2011, in 2012, the government approached us and said, "Look, can you start an initiative to build up talents?" And it was like, "Wow, what's this? It's so coincidental." Yeah, it was amazing. So because of that, we started this initiative called My Game Dev, and
Mhm.
the whole purpose was to build talents. And we did a study, and we found out the most effective way to build a game hub in any region is not about the tax incentives. It's not about the infrastructure. It's not about how much the cost of living. To build a good games region, one of the biggest criteria is the talent pool. Yeah, we need to reach a critical mass of skilled talents. And moving forward, um, because that initiative was to the previous government, and as you know, politics, whatever you attach to a previous government, when the government falls, so on and so forth. So we took the initiative to actually approach the Ministry of Education this time around. And we started the Game Development Council, this time directly under the Department of Higher Education. So it's a strategic collaboration between all the universities that are offering games, with the government agencies like MDEC, with the community like IGDA and WIGOUT, and most importantly, with the games companies in Malaysia. And the whole intention is, it's not about looking at UOW Malaysia anymore. Yeah, it's not about how we can get a slice of the pie. It's about building the pie bigger, and it's about building talent so that all these companies can come in and get the talents. Yeah, so that's GDCom actually. So we try to connect talents with the industry. We try to bring out talents overseas. We try to make sure that all the talents in Malaysia is of the same level that is required by the industry. So that's a long and short of it. So that's a pitch actually. So follow our Instagram page at Game Dev Council. Yeah.
Following. I'm doing it.
All
It's
right.
happening. Okay. So actually, like, how many members are there of the Game Dev Council? Like, because you mentioned it's like all the
But it includes
universities. I mean, like for the
yeah, it includes
universities at
universities.
least.
So we
Yeah.
have MMU, we have APU, we have public universities such as UPSI, University Pendidikan Sultan Idris. We have UTM. We have MDEC inside. We have IGTA. So Mr. Sean Beck is in the panel, and we have about 4 games companies inside. Streamline is one of them. We have One Hasmir, Metronomics. We have Lemon Sky. We have Passion Republic. Yeah, and as we go on, we are looking to grow. We have one academy inside as well. So it's all the movers and shakers of the and yeah, you might think that, huh, aren't we competitors? But it's not about competition anymore. It's how to come together and grow Malaysia. So it's a nation building things, and it's quite interesting because you never see how all these people are all working to grow talents.
It's really interesting, especially because like you've heard the stories out of Japan where before they wouldn't share their corporate secrets kind of thing, especially in games. Like people
Yes.
couldn't move over. So over here that we're kind of cultivating this energy, this sort of like want to, even though we're technically competing,
Yeah.
we're all trying to share information and grow the talent pool cumulatively, I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that's really interesting and I think that's great. So again, please follow the Game Dev Council Instagram. Is it just Instagram or do you have any other
Yeah. Just
socials?
IG for now and LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Follow them on LinkedIn, the hottest social network around. Ask your mom, okay? Ask your dad, ask your big sister. All right. So my next question is, you are the head of UOWM's KDU's game development program, essentially.
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you've seen as the head? Like from the students, maybe anything that's really stood out to you?
I think well, when we first started, we started off with 3 students. Yeah, we started off with 3 students at a very expensive lab and a lot of expectations on our shoulders. And I think uh, we have grown. I think we have seen the student quality go up. Incredibly, we are one of the largest, and I wouldn't say the largest, but we are one of the fastest growing schools in the entire university, and we are quite possibly the school which has the most quirky types of students around. Yeah, uh, good or bad, I don't know.
It's
But
unique.
I
It's
think we have
unique. That's what
changed
it
the
is.
face of UOW Malaysia. And here's the fun. Here's
Stall it again.
the fact. UOW boss were, and I heard one of the main reasons why they brought us over was primarily because of 2 courses that we have in KDU that time. One was the hospitality program and culinary arts, and the other was actually our games program. So UOW Australia actually has a games program as well, but I think they were actually quite impressed with the student quality, the staff quality, and generally the structure we had here.
Like that means that the quality of education in the games development program here is on
Yes,
par with like international other like outside of the country
definitely.
definitely.
In 2013, we hosted Sony, Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. Yeah,
Ah,
and they came down and they saw the student project. And in front of the vice chancellor, I remember this specifically because I asked him to quote to write a written quotation, and I asked him, and he told us that our student quality was comparable to the quality in North America and South America at the time. So it was actually a really awesome compliment. We were all like, "Wow, can we quote you on that?" But
I mean that's a big deal because that's before we even moved to Glenmurray. That was back in
yes,
the
yes,
small
that was
campus.
yeah.
So like with the old labs and everything, that's really cool. Um, but then like so as things have evolved over the years, you mentioned the course started with 3 students in like what 2000 and
12,
2000. Okay, wow. So
2012.
2012 technically. So like yeah, it's really come a long way because if you look at the student like the orientation hall, it is packed and
Yes,
everybody there is like you could tell that there's a certain kind of energy in the air, which is really great.
Yeah.
But then, like, as the years have passed, has there been anything about the students that's kind of stuck out to you? Like, maybe have there been any have you been surprised by anything that the students have put out over the years?
Well, I think the biggest change I've seen is the types of students we're getting.
Mm,
I think as games are starting to become is being accepted as a sort of a mainstream education.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges we faced, especially with parents those days, was games, cyber cafe, play games can get money, you know. So I think thanks to the industry growing here, especially with the 6 international games companies coming down, and games companies we have about 85 games companies in Malaysia now. Yeah, that's grown a lot. And thanks to all that, thanks to the exposure, thanks to the media as well, the types of students that we are getting right now are a bit more urban. They're you put them in a room and you can't tell whether they are a mass comm student, a business student, or game students. Yeah, you're a perfect example of that.
From
But
comms before
if you
this,
were
you
to
know
if
that.
you were to rewind, right, 15 years ago, yeah, 15 years ago,
Mhm.
and you ask a game student to conduct an interview, uh it would be a bit difficult then. Yeah. But I'm glad that things have changed. I think the game students now are more open. They are coming from different walks of life, different cultures, different personalities as well. Yeah. But they have this one common thing: they all love to play and to develop games. So I think and they're all creative. Yeah, sometimes too creative.
True, actually. Sometimes it's like learning to edit is one of the best skills that you can get. So, that's fine. But
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. I think that this is definitely a reflection of like how the world is changing because games are so widely accepted now that people from all walks of life are getting into not only the idea of playing games, but the idea of developing them. So they're
yeah,
coming into new experiences.
yeah,
So, like, now you're going to get all these people who, they're coming into games maybe from a background of being more familiar with film. So they're going to bring that into games and experiment
yeah,
with the medium, stuff like that. I think that's also really interesting because that kind of impact is happening here in Malaysia. So, we're a place that is growing in terms of games
yeah,
industry.
yeah.
And then like the people here are coming from all walks of life. It's bound to like blow
Yeah.
up in a great way. I'm so
One
excited about
one of
that.
the biggest change is the fact that there are females now. Yeah,
This is true.
I think that was the first 3 years of us operating. We didn't have any females at all. And then we started getting more and more female students, and that's a good a mix actually. Two
Mhm.
things, because number one, it allows for the uh, for sort of like a gender the collective in terms of the creative um, approach, and
Mhm.
more importantly, then this is the most important fact, and a lot of people will go like, oh yeah, it's our productivity of our male students are actually better lah.
I don't know. Okay, that one, that one I'm not sure because if you look at my batchmates, sometimes the teams that had not me, basically, they did produce better work. So I don't know about productivity.
Well, I wouldn't say productivity. I would say motivation to come to class.
Oh my god. I mean, just like it is good though because there's definitely a different perspective that comes into it, right? And since the
Yeah,
industry is changing so much, having these new perspectives is great. I think that's really good. But
yeah,
you are right that the number of girls grows with every semester because my batch, it was just me and one other girl. That's it. In like a batch of like 20 over people.
yeah.
So stuff like that.
All
Okay, so moving on to my next question.
right.
Um what do you hope for your students to achieve when they enter the industry? Like students like me, I'm about to get a job. I really want a job. Please give me a job so I can make money, please.
Well,
But like what do you hope that we all can achieve?
I mean, at the end of the day, all educators or all lecturers would want their students to actually be as successful as possible. Um, I would love it if one of the UOW Malaysia KDU students actually started the Angry Birds revolution right here in Malaysia. Yeah, they came out with their own IP that changes the face of the games landscape in Malaysia. And you know the story, right? With Angry Birds, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, they started off with they made 50 over games, and the last game they wanted to, that was the last game. I said they were like, I after this, if it doesn't achieve any success, we give up. And Angry Birds came out. But it's not only that. It's because of Rio that they kickstarted the entire Finnish games industry. Yeah, it's the same as Flappy Bird. It's because of Nguyen, if I'm not mistaken. All Vietnamese are called Nguyen. So anyway, it's because of him that he kickstarted the entire games industry, or the interest in games in Vietnam. Yeah, um, and although we do have a lot of games companies here, we do have fantastic, huge games companies, local and international, and then producing actually high quality AAA game titles, which is awesome. And we do have studios now which are creating their own IP. But that's a different level than to create an IP that has gone viral and that everybody is like 100 million downloads, and because of that, it's like the Upin and Ipin of the games world. And I'm hoping for one of you guys to actually go out there and make a supreme impact. But not only that, I mean, also to go out there and work on amazing titles and make your mark. Not only be the artist or the designer for the titles, but be the lead artist, the main lead designer for an upcoming title. Make an impact like One Hasmir did. And I would love it for our students to be able to do that. And I know that one day, one of you will. Yeah, so that's like a parent saying, "Go out, go forth and multiply, go forth and you know, uh, do something, win a Nobel Peace Prize," and that's what we want.
I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. Let's hope that I can do that. Oh, jeez. Because, like,
No pressure.
yeah, no pressure, but, because it's like, it's good that you mentioned Juan Hasmir. I remember the year that he spoke at Comic Fiesta for his work on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And this was still when the Final Fantasy was still in development. The biggest thing that got everyone talking, the biggest thing was he was like, you see this anime boy? He's having tetare! And immediately the crowd went nuts. And that was like, and then everybody loved him after that. And then he did NSR, and then like
Yeah.
that's why everyone's so hyped, like, because everyone knows him as, even my mom knows him as, like, the Final Fantasy guy. That's all she remembers him for, like, for a while. That was it, and that was great. That was fine. Like, now she's like, oh, cool. But like, that kind of recognizability. I agree with you. I hope that we can get students coming out of this university that can produce that level of content and become like a household name for games, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Go forth, grow, be free, win a Nobel Peace Prize. Exactly.
in games, yeah. So the BAFTA award for games, be the top 100 influential females in games.
Oh,
Why
yes,
not? Who's
please.
stopping you?
I would love
So
that. Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I mean, like, Level Up Awards are gonna be accepting submissions eventually, so we'll
yeah.
see.
That's regional. That's regional. And I do hope one day the students will go forth. I mean, the world's your oyster, right?
Mm,
Start locally first, and you see so many of these Malaysians who have gone out. Not only One Hasmir conquered Japan, Tokyo, but you have Khalid, yeah, Alit, who started off in Codemasters Malaysia.
mm, mm.
He went over to Ubisoft Singapore, and went over to Ubisoft, if I'm not mistaken, Montreal, or is that and worked in EA Motive, yeah, and in Gothenburg, Sweden, yeah. So he's literally, and the last I heard, he's with Unity now. But when he was at EA, he was the world art director for Need for Speed, yeah, 15, if I'm not mistaken, Need for Speed, yeah, one of the Need
Oh,
for
that's
Speed,
so
yeah.
cool.
So and the thing is this, One Hasmir was not trained as a games person.
Yeah.
Alit was not trained as a games person. But you guys are. You guys have the advantage of learning from some of the best people in games. Your lecturers, yeah. You've so many of them with vast experience. And that's gonna give you all a added advantage. The only thing that will stop you from achieving success is you. So once you get out the mindset and say that, hey, look, I can do anything, I can work anywhere. Blizzard, not a problem. You just have to grow your gonads and apply. Yeah, go out, be bold. And that's one of the things that is missing right now with our students. They don't have the, I'm not going to say the word, the B word, the gonads to to
The
do what
guts,
they
the
can.
guts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guts. Okay, yes, that's it. Can we censor that? We can't, right? Okay.
We can't, it's life.
Yeah, but the testicular fortitude to go out and make a name, yeah, and be bold. That's what you need. That's what you need. Sometimes you just have to be bold and do the things which are out of your comfort zone. And I think that's one of the challenges Asian kids, Malaysian kids have.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like, I remember in the first couple of semesters, I had a discussion with some of my other friends in the school who said like they have some difficulty with asking questions because like in school, you know, you can't really ask questions for fear of being ridiculed. But
Yeah,
in university, it's a completely different game, especially here. You know, you are encouraged to ask questions because it shows that there is a willingness to learn. So, it's stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But uh, another bit of advice that I remember a lecturer had told me before was that, we're students. We are allowed to be bold and ask silly questions and just put ourselves out there because everything changes once we're out of here. So to
yeah,
really take advantage of the time and like be as bold as possible and, throw your work at everybody, see what sticks, that kind of thing.
yeah,
This is the
yeah,
experimental time. I
yeah.
hope that the students will continue to do that. Some of my batchmates have really been applying themselves in that way, and I really hope the juniors continue to do so as well.
Yeah. I think the other advice, the other thing I would say for students is learn. Students have this propensity or this thing where they are actually naturally. All of you guys are pretty critical. Yeah. You guys look at the game and you can criticize it to kingdom come. Yeah. This sucks. That sucks. The character sucks. That plot sucks. The game design sucks. And you can extend that critical level right out of your to your classmates and your coursemates as well. You can go look at their game and say, that's wrong, that's wrong. But it stops when it comes to your work. Yeah. And I've seen that happen so often. And this, I've been in education for, uh, God, uh, 22 years
Oh my god, that's
now.
almost as
Yeah.
old as me.
So, yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's not go there. Um, and one of the things that I've always said to students is this: criticize yourself. Come to the point where you question everything about yourself. And if you, because when you show your work to your lecturer, that is an extension of your ability as a designer. That's your extension of your ability as an artist or a programmer. When you show your work, that signifies the best that you can do. And if you're not happy with your work, then make sure that is the best that you can do. A lot of times, students or even for working people, they go like, "I'm just gonna do this much, see whether can go through lah. If can, okay lah. I'm gonna give this asset. If can lah." But that's what sets you apart as later on as an art director, as a creative director, is when you come up with something that says that's the best I can do, and here it is. You know, uh, I have criticized it to my heart's content. This is the best. So the level of finishing you have given out, especially for artists, for your eye for detail, that's what's missing. So you cannot be comfortable now. You shouldn't treat yourself as a student because the battle for the places, for battle for the spots in the companies begins now. So to borrow a phrase from our neighbors down south, be as kiasu as possible, lor.
the games to get job placement.
Yeah.
That's so scary, but it is accurate in a way. Because one of the things that we did learn early on in the program was that there are technically only like X number of spots for each position.
Yeah.
So you gotta remember that you're not only going to be fighting it out with your fellow classmates for these positions, but the people who are from the different universities. And what about the people who are not from universities? Like, it's a whole thing. When you think
Yeah.
about it, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but it is a fact, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, one of the things that parents, when they first ask me, is that, are there can you guarantee my son or daughter a job? I say, look, there are a lot of job opportunities out there, but I can never guarantee a place. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's down to the specific individual. Yeah. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of people out there. The jobs are there, but the problem with these jobs is they are not going to take in any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Yeah, they
True.
want the
This is true.
best. They want the best. And they don't want to come in and they have to retrain you and teach you to build up that level of finishing that they need. Yeah. And 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 I've spoken to a lot of games companies in Malaysia. Yeah. And one of the things they say is, we don't need people with a technical skill. Yeah. All those can be trained. We want somebody whose attitude is right, whose eye for detail is right, the finishing, the level of aesthetics is right. That means they have the attitude that I want to produce the best, and that's what you expect from me. Whatever you give me, I will produce the best. Even if it's something I don't know, I will learn and I'll produce the best. That is the thing that they don't want somebody who's coming out technically. I'm so good in Maya. I'm so good in 3D Studio Max. I'm so good in Unity, but they don't have that drive to push the quality level. What's the point? It's a very sobering thought, right?
It is, it is. I mean, like, a lot of people underestimate, especially in the games industry, unfortunately, they underestimate the importance of soft skills and empathy.
Precisely.
Because if you're empathetic towards others and yourself, you're more mindful of how to better craft a workflow that works for everybody, I feel. And if you have the right soft skills like communication, you can better communicate your ideas, you can better illustrate how things should come across. These are certain things that some people take for granted, I think, especially, and then they only like figure it out when they enter the workforce, which is not good, you know? So, yeah. But with all that in mind, do you have any specific advice for the students who are about to enter the games industry? Because like you've done industry, you've done education, so like
Uh, well, be teachable.
okay,
Be teachable. Yeah. And this is something that I don't only say to students. In fact, in whichever line you're in, whichever level you're in, even if you're manager level, even if you're CEO, one of the biggest and most important things is you have to be teachable. You have to have the level of humility to know that you don't know anything and you don't know everything. Yeah. Always be willing to accept, to learn, and accept criticism. That's how you grow. The day that you think that you are the best and you don't need to learn anymore is the day that you start on a long journey downhill. um, and I've had students like that before. I many years ago, eons ago, I had this student who was amazing. He was one of the best animators I've seen coming out out of Malaysia. Yeah, his level, his technical skill, his finishing rival even those in the industry. Amazing, it was amazing. But you don't hear of him anymore. And the fact is, he got too full of himself. He came to the point where I know everything. What can you teach me? And that's where the road downhill goes. Yeah.
yeah,
You don't keep up. You don't learn. You don't learn from others. Um, I I've always kept this mantra. I'm willing to learn. You can learn from everybody. In fact, I learn from students as well. Students have taught me a lot of things. Yeah, from attitude, from uh, from their outlook in life, technical, that goes without saying, but you get, when you learn from everybody, when you have a teachable spirit, you're like a sponge, and the only thing you can do is you get better and better and better. Yeah,
Just
so
like
that's the
soak it up.
best.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Just soak it up if you're a
Yeah,
sponge,
yeah.
right? All that
Sorry, I heard something
knowledge.
else. You're still live, okay? So I'm just gonna be very,
Yeah. Don't worry.
yeah. So I hope that's a good piece of advice. Yeah,
Oh, that is definitely like a good piece of advice. Because like having you want to keep your skills sharp, but you
yeah,
also want to keep your ego in check. It takes so much energy to be like, I'm the smartest person in the room, blah 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 blah
yeah,
blah. It's easier once you figure it out how to have a willingness to learn, kind of like that.
yeah.
Yeah. All
True.
right.
Yeah.
So, my final question
All right.
of the interview is: what are your thoughts on the showcase event and the projects that are being exhibited during the showcase? This is our first time doing a digital showcase.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually, I'm super proud of you guys. Yeah, I think when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Yeah, um, and this is amazing. That you could pull this off. It's an online play test, online interview session, online gathering, and I think the world has changed. Um, Things are not going to be the same moving forward. Yeah, and we all feel a little bit of it as well. Education is not going to be the same. um, COVID-19 has impacted us in more ways than one. Of course, we have found out that the divorce rates have gone up as well, so that's going to be a big impact. But it's shown us that we have. I shared this in another interview somewhere else. We always spoke of this thing called IR 4.0, yeah, the Industrial Revolution 4.0,
Yeah.
and how things are going to there's going to be a paradigm shift in the way we conduct businesses, and people have theorized this for many for the past few years. Yeah, but the horizon was still far away. COVID-19 has brought this entire thing closer. The very fact that we can companies are now going to do work from home is going to be the norm. Yeah, we're going to see online education taking off. People are going to be more comfortable with screen-based learning, and moving forward, what you guys have done here today will change the way we have showcases uh, for our school. Why limit jingle mingle, for example? So Boon is hearing, yeah, he's probably sweating right now.
I'm so
So I can't
sorry,
see his
Mr.
face, but I know he's like,
Boone.
oh shucks, yeah. So Boon, this is gonna change how we run jingle mingle.
I'm sorry,
It's
Mr.
not
Boone.
going to only be um, something for Malaysia, something for UOW, but it's gonna impact. This is gonna allow UOW Malaysia KDU game students to reach a wider market. Yeah, um, international playtesting, international jingle mingle. Yeah, that's going to be something that we're gonna see. I mean, uh, the biggest question a lot of people ask is, what's going to happen to Comic Fiesta? Right? Will they still run Comic Fiesta? What's going to happen to all this level up GDC moving forward? Yeah, so social distancing is still going to be the norm, except in America. Yeah, so I'm not going to go there. So, I mean, there are a lot of fantastic people in America. Yeah, okay. Uh, but there are also those who demand that. Let's not go there. I guess it's too much on politics and everything. But we're gonna see a different method of showcases, presentations, and it's gonna be a hyper connected world. What you guys did today is just the tip of the iceberg. And you guys pulled it through. Students pulled it through. And of course, with the help of the one, is he below or is he above or is he
He's a
by the
below.
side?
He's below.
Is he
He's
below?
below.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm super proud of you guys. But you know, one of the things, the funny things, especially in where I'm working, right? We have this saying in management. If you open your mouth, right, and you suggest something, you have to do it, lor. Yeah. So you guys did an awesome job. Let's see if we can make it bigger, better, and wider now. So, yeah. So you just dug the hole, and it's just getting bigger. But I'm super proud of you guys. I mean, I went in, I saw some of the works, amazing. Yeah. So good job. You guys did a great job. Kudos to the students. Kudos to the academic staff who made this happen. You deserve a great big pat on your back. Yeah, and well done. That's all I can say.
Well, since that was my final question, I'm gonna close up the interview. So
Right.
just to plug to everybody really quick, you can check out our games on our Discord. The instructions on how to join our Discord are on the Facebook page and also on Twitter. Please do check out the games themselves on itch.io. That's uowmgames.itch.io. And also, if you're interested in hearing from the student side how the development of everything went, you can go to anchor.fm/SECM showcase. My details are, please play my game. My game is the FYP. Yeah. My details are, I'm Sophie. I'm a designer. I'm an FYP student. My game is Don't Stop the Party. Please come in and check it out. We managed to pull enemy AI like out of nowhere during the last like 2 weeks of development. And also, please follow Mr. Ike on Instagram. He posts
Game
interesting.
Dev Council.
Okay, fine. Please follow Game Dev Council on Instagram. I don't know. You've got the plug up there. Yeah. Yeah. See. Okay. I see it. I see it. I will not say it, but the viewers see it. That's fine. So our playtest event is going on until about 7 o'clock Malaysian time, GMT +8. Please come in and check out the games, test them yourself, provide feedback, help us grow. We're trying to really change the games market here, and this is where it starts. So I think that's
Awesome.
about
High
it then.
five.
Yeah.
Wait,
Other
on the
other
other
way,
side, right?
other way, other way, other
Okay.
way. Yeah. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
that's so lame. Okay, I'm just gonna go now.
It's okay. It's all right. I support you. Okay. All right. So that's it. Thanks everybody.
All right,
Enjoy your
bye.
game. Bye.